Hi, I'm Andrea and I'm your Pilates instructor here at Grow. Before I start, I'd just like you to check with your healthcare practitioner that they're happy for you to start some Pilates moves. These are going to be beginners Pilates moves, which I'll take you through. I'm going to take you through a warm-up first, which is going to set you up perfectly for going into some of our beginners sessions. At the end of those sessions, you're going to feel invigorated. You're going to feel taller and stronger. And I know that you're going to be keen to come back and try some more of those beginners sessions that we've got lined up for you. After those sessions, when you feel confident, you may even want to move on to the intermediate level. I'm going to introduce you to breathing first, which is really good and really important within Pilates. And we'll incorporate that into our warm-up. So let's get going. I'm now going to introduce you to some warm-up moves for the Pilates classes. And at the end of this, you will feel ready to move into one of those beginners sessions. We're going to talk about breathing, first of all. It is important with Pilates. And as you go through different classes, it will become much more natural, I promise. Some people do get a little bit worried to start with, but it really will become much more natural. Okay, so we breathe in through the nose, taking the air down to the bottom of the lungs, expanding the rib cage to the front and to the sides. And as we breathe out, you breathe out through pursed lips. And that just helps you engage your deepest core muscle, which is your transverse abdominis muscle. Big scary word, but we call it a TVA for short. Now, there are 4 layers of your abdominals, and that transverse abdominis muscle attaches at the front and at your spine. So it's a really good supporting corset for everything within, from our spine through our abdominals and everything there. So really, really good to breathe in and engage that transverse abdominis muscle, and then exhale through those pursed lips, feeling that contraction and a little lift up on the pelvic floor. So if you didn't know already, your core muscles, as we describe them, are like a box. And at the top you have your diaphragm, and at the bottom you have your pelvic floor. And that's why we also really work on our pelvic floor within Pilates as well. So you want to have a little contraction of that pelvic floor. I'm going to take you down, and we're going to incorporate some of the breathing into an imprint and release of the lumbar spine. So if you need a little block, you can have a block behind your head. I do. So you start with your spine neutral, which means you've got a lovely S shape in your spine. So you're going to inhale with your spine in neutral through the nose. Expand the rib cage. As you exhale, imprint your lumbar spine, and then come back. Inhale through the nose into the bottom of the lungs. Exhale, use your obliques to rock your pelvis back. We'll do that for a couple more times. So in through the nose, and exhale, imprint your lumbar spine. Okay, so we're just mobilizing our lumbar spine. So one more time. Inhale and exhale, rock it back just to get that spine moving. Lovely. I'm going to move on to something called hip release. I'm just going to move this way a little so you can see my legs. So this is just to warm up our hip sockets here. So as you inhale, let that left knee drop out to the side and straighten that leg away from you. And then you're going to drag it back in. Okay. Inhale, take the left away. Exhale, draw it back in. We're going to do 2 more on this side. You're keeping your hips nice and level, so you're having to use your abdominals here to do that, okay? Inhale, take that leg away. Exhale, take the leg in. Keep that right knee pointing up towards the ceiling the whole time, okay? Right, let's go on to the internal rotation. Now you're going to rotate your left knee in, pushing the foot away. Open out that hip and back up to the start position. Inhale the leg away and exhale. Draw that leg back up. 2 more on this leg. Inhale. I like to put my hands on my hips here because it helps me make sure I'm keeping them nice and flat and level. And you're having to use your tummy muscles to do that. So we're working our core here. Switching over legs. Drop the right knee out. Push the foot away. And then draw it back in. Inhale, that leg away. Exhale, draw it back in. 2 more before we rotate that leg in. So exhale, back in. 1 more. Inhaling, taking that nice air down to the bottom of the lungs. Right, let's rotate this knee in. Rotate the knee in. Open out that hip joint. You're taking your hip joint through its full range of motion. It's something we don't do very often, and it's really useful to do this. Inhale the leg away. Exhale, back up. And then 1 more. That's it, just mobilizing those hip joints nicely. I'm going to move on to something called hip rolls. So I've taken that block from behind my head. My legs are like train tracks. My spine is neutral. I'm going to roll up through my spine here, okay? So I take a breath in to prepare. As I breathe out, I'm going to rock through my imprint and lift up to a nice full bridge, okay? I'm going to lengthen my knees away, and then I'm going to massage my spine back down. Such a lovely feeling. I love this one. Okay, breathe in through the nose. As you breathe out, rock back through your pelvis. Squeeze your glutes and lift up to a bridge. Inhale, lengthen the knees away. Exhale, roll down through those vertebrae, massaging your spine. We'll go for a couple more. Inhaling, exhale, roll through. Try and feel that you're lifting one vertebrae at a time. And as you melt them down, you're placing one down at a time. It's a really good way to articulate through your spine. Let's do 1 more. Inhale, exhale, roll up and lift through. Okay. Inhale, lengthen those knees away from you. Exhale, rolling down, massaging those vertebrae through. Okay, lovely. We're going to move on onto your hands and knees. I've got some nice moves here. So onto your hands and knees, wrists are under shoulders, spine is in neutral, neck is aligned with your thoracic, knees are hip distance apart. Let's go for some protraction and retraction of those shoulder blades. As you inhale, feel like you're pushing the mat away. As you exhale, contract and retract those shoulder blades, okay? Inhale, push the mat away. Exhale, retract the shoulder blades. It's a really good thing to try and connect to those muscles that work your shoulder blades because they work separately to the rest of the spine. Inhale, pushing the mat away, and exhale, retracting those shoulder blades. It's a smaller movement than you might actually think. We're trying to avoid going into the cat stretch. Okay, so we're just looking at moving those shoulder blades. That's nice. Now we've mobilized those. We're just going to do something called spine release here. You're going to take your left hand, okay, and you're going to thread, it's like thread the needle. You're going to thread this through. You're going to bend that supporting arm, and you're going to look towards your fingers. And then you're going to come back and place the hand back down. So it's an inhale to prepare, and an exhale, rotate through, getting a lovely rotational stretch here. And inhale and exhale to return. Let's go for 2 more on this side. So rotate through. And then return. And then 1 more on this side. So rotate through, bending that supporting elbow, looking towards your fingers, feeling a really lovely stretch there. I'm just going to do it on the other side. So we've got 4 more to do. Lift the right hand, bend through, rotate. Ooh, it's a very nice feeling, this one. And then return. Okay, inhale, prepare, keeping that abdominals lifted, keeping the pelvic floor lifted, exhaling away. 2 more on this side. Inhale, exhale, rotate through, looking towards your fingers. Feeling that really nice rotational stretch through the spine. 1 more. Inhale, exhale, return. And we're going to finish with the cat stretch, which is another lovely stretch here, okay? So you're going to lift the middle of your spine up towards the ceiling. So inhale to prepare. Everything starts neutral. Exhale. Lift up towards the ceiling, flexing through the spine. Inhale, try and increase that flexion, which is lovely. Exhale, soften back through the spine, rippling back to neutral. Again, inhale, exhale, lift. Inhale, increase that stretch. Exhale, soften back through, opening out the glutes. Okay, couple more. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift. Squeezing the glutes, letting the head drop down. Inhale, exhale, soften back, coming back to neutral. We're going for one more. Inhale, exhale, lift, inhale, and exhale to soften back. We're going to sit you back into what's called a shell stretch now. Take the arms down, release the pressure in the spine, take a breath in as you breathe out. Bring yourself back up. So I've taken you through a warm-up now, the beginner's warm-up, and you'll be ready to move on to one of those beginner's sessions. You've mobilized your joints, you've mobilized your vertebrae and articulated through those vertebrae, and you should be ready now to move on. Hello, in today's class, we are going to look to work your glutes. So to work those muscles and really build some strength and help with that hip mobility. You're going to like this one, so let's get going. We're going to start lying down and we're going to go into our first move, our ab prep exercise. So lie with a nice neutral spine, bend the knees, have the feet flat onto the mat, hip distance apart. Arms are down by your side and your shoulders are nicely stabilized. We're going to lengthen the back of the neck as we drop our chin down, so inhaling. As you exhale, you're going to flex up and forward, keeping spine neutral, so keep that little gap behind your lumbar spine. Breathe in through the nose and exhale. Lower yourself back down again. We're going to repeat that 9 more times. So head nod. Exhaling through those lips. Inhale to stabilize, flattening the abdominals, and exhale down. Okay, so keep going with me. Nod the head. Flex up and forward, lifting the arms, floating them by your side. Inhale to stay and exhale down. And we'll keep that pattern going. Head nod. Exhale as you flex up and forward. Inhale through the nose. Exhale down. And this is number 5. So head nod. Flexing that thoracic spine, but staying stabilized in those shoulders. So try not to protract too much. Try and keep nice and stable. Inhale and exhale down. We're going for a few more. You might start to feel it in your neck now. Remember that little head nod. Inhale in neutral. Exhale down. Head nod. Flex up and forward on your exhale. Inhale at the top. Exhale down. Let's do 3 more. Nod the head. Exhaling forward. Inhale to stabilize in neutral. Exhale down. And 2. Lengthening the back of the neck. Flex yourself forward. Taking that breath in through the nose. And exhale down. 1 more. Sliding your rib cage toward your pelvis. Inhale there. And exhale down. Okay, we're going to move into some toe taps. So you're going to float one leg at a time up into tabletop, imprinting your lumbar spine. So take the arms just down by your side. You're going to hinge at the hip. So it's an inhale and then an exhale. Toe tap down. Inhale, float that leg back up to that tabletop position. Exhale, switch sides. So take the right leg down this time. Inhale, float it back up. Exhale, left leg taps down. Inhale here, exhale, right leg taps down. And we're going to keep that pattern going, okay? Keeping your lumbar spine imprinted. Use that exhale to tap down. Now, if you're finding this a bit too much, if you're finding your back is arching off of the mat, keep one foot down and just toe tap with the opposite leg. Still this time, keeping that lumbar spine imprinted. Exhale down. Inhale to float back up. Exhale down. Inhale to float back up. I'm going to go back into both of my legs up into tabletop. Inhale, exhale, tap down. Inhale, exhale, tap down. Go for one more on each side. Tap down, lift up, exhale, tap down. Now we're going to safely come out of the tabletop position by placing one foot down at a time. Lovely. Just going to stretch out the front of those hip flexors now by doing some nice spine curls. So just move the pad, if you have one, behind your head. And we're just going to roll through the spine, lifting the hips up into a nice bridge. Inhale here, exhale, roll through the spine, lifting up to a nice bridge position. You've got your shoulders in line with your knees. So taking a breath in here, as you exhale, roll down through the spine, feeling like you're massaging your vertebrae into the mat. Again, taking an inhale through the nose. As you exhale, roll and lift up into that nice bridge position. Feel like you're massaging your vertebrae. Exhale down. Get that nice roll through the imprint and then come back to neutral. I'm just going to add in an arm lift here. So follow me. So inhale, exhale, roll through. You can float those arms up above the head. Take an inhale here, and then as you exhale, roll down through the spine, taking your arms back down to your sides. We'll go for two more. Inhale, exhale, lift up, squeezing those glutes, lift up into a nice bridge. Inhale at the top, and then exhale, sweep the arms down, rolling down through the spine. One more. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, lift up, reaching those arms overhead. Inhale here, and then as you massage your vertebrae down, roll through your imprint and sweep those arms back down to your sides. Okay, just bringing yourself up nice and gently. We're going to go over onto your front. Onto prone position. We're going to start with our breaststroke prep 1. So your arms are down by your side, your hands are flat onto the floor. Your abdominals are engaged, so still pull your belly button back away from the mat. And stabilize the shoulder blades. So looking down, keeping your chin tucked. You're going to inhale as you just lift your chest slightly off of the mat. As you exhale, draw yourself back down towards the mat. Again, inhale, lifting, keeping your bottom rib in contact with the mat the whole time. And as you exhale, use those abdominals to help you draw back down towards the mat. So we're going to keep that pattern going. Inhale, your eye gaze doesn't go too far forward because we don't want to extend the neck at this point. We're just trying to lengthen through the back of the neck. Exhale down. Okay. Inhale, lifting, stabilizing those shoulder blades. Exhale, controlling it back down. Again, inhale to lift, trying to switch off the glutes, trying to use those muscles at the top of your spine, so at your upper thoracic. Inhale to lift, just relaxing the arms. Exhale down. We'll go for one more. Inhale to lift. We're not pressing through the arms. We're just trying to use our upper back muscles. And then exhaling down. So from this position, we're going to start working our legs a little bit here, okay? So we're going to take our hands and cross them underneath the forehead. And you can rest your head down onto the forehead. We're going to work one leg at a time. Okay, so relaxing the shoulders. As you take a breath in, exhale to lift your right leg. So you're trying to lengthen and reach those toes away from you. Inhale to lower. Now switch legs. Lift the left leg, lengthening your toes away from you. We're going to keep that pattern going. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. And again, exhale to lift the left leg. Inhale to lower. So we're still keeping our abdominals engaged. You're pulling your belly button back away from the mat the whole time. You're working that glute muscle. You're feeling those muscles in your bum just working. Squeezing to lift. And lowering down. Keep those shoulders relaxed. Make all the work come from those legs. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. There we go. Left leg again. Inhale to lower. We'll go for two more on each leg. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. One more on each leg. Remember to keep those abdominals engaged. You're pulling your belly button back away from the floor. One more on the left leg. And lower that back down again. We're going to do another exercise whilst we're in this position. Now this is called heel squeeze prone. I'm taking my knees wider apart and letting my heels come together. Okay, you're going to keep that pelvis nice and flat, nice and level. So try not to tip the pelvis so that you feel a pinch in your lumbar spine. So keep your pelvis neutral. Squeeze those heels together, and that's the move. So you're going to engage your abdominals to squeeze those heels together. And we're going to rest the head down again. So inhale to prepare, and exhale, squeeze the heels together. You'll feel your glutes working. Inhale, release them, and then exhale, squeeze. Sometimes you might start to feel the hamstrings cramping a bit. This can happen. If that does, just release the position and just breathe, because breathing can really help with cramp. I'm keeping this pattern going. I'm trying to relax the shoulders. So inhale and then exhale to squeeze. Inhale, release the pressure, and exhale, squeeze. Let's go for 4 more. I'm going to rest my head down and exhale, squeeze. Inhale, release. Exhale, squeeze. Going for 2 more, remembering to keep those abdominals pulled back. So you're trying to keep your pelvis nice and flat, nice and neutral. And then one more, squeezing those heels together, working those glutes and hamstrings. Okay, let's sit ourselves back and have a nice shell stretch. So take your arms down by your sides, engage the abdominals, and nicely flex that spine. It's just releasing the pressure that we've just built up in our spine here. Take a breath in through the nose, and as you exhale, oh, lovely, stack yourself back up one vertebrae at a time. So we're going to go into some 4-point kneeling. So you're going to come onto your wrists, and they're shoulder width apart. And your knees are also hip width apart. Okay, so my spine is neutral and my head is kept in my neutral position. So avoiding letting the head hang. We're just going to keep our eye gaze straight down, but keeping our neck in line with the thoracic spine. We're going to lift the leg out to the side. Okay, so you're going to inhale to prepare, and as you exhale, take the right leg and just try and sweep it out to the side. Inhale to lower, and exhale to lift. Good. Inhale to lower, and exhale to lift to the side. There, we're going to keep that pattern going. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. Try and keep stabilized through those shoulders. Think about those shoulder blades being nice and tight and flat to the back of the rib cage. We're going to go for 5 more on this side. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. A little lift up nicely on that pelvic floor. And keeping those abdominals engaged the whole time. So a couple more. Inhale, lower. And one more. Exhale to lift. Lovely. Let's change sides. Have a little release off if you need to. Resetting our position here. So inhale to prepare and lift that left leg. Sweep the knee out to the side. There we go. Take a breath in and lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Good. So still stabilizing through those shoulders. Make sure you haven't started to protract and drop the head, trying to keep everything neutral. Breathe in through the nose and out through those pursed lips. Halfway. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. So you're still engaging those abdominals, pulling your belly button back to spine, and lift and squeeze. Keeping nice and neutral. Couple more. Lovely. And one more. Great. Okay, we're going to stay here and we're going to do some swimming prep, but we're going to add in a little twist here. We're going to work our arms and leg onto the diagonal. So watch with me. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, you're going to lift your right arm and your left leg, and then you're going to take them out to the diagonal so they reach away from you. Then you bring them back in and lower back down again. So we're going to do that on the other side. So this time, inhale to prepare. Lift the left arm and the right leg, trying to bring them up so the whole body becomes a straight line up there. Take them out onto the diagonal, float them back in and lower back down. Each time thinking about, am I placing my arms and my legs, so my knee and my wrist, back down into that nice box position. So knees will stay hip distance apart and wrists will stay shoulder width apart. So we're going to go now again. Exhale, left arm, right leg out to the diagonal. So it's really challenging your balance here. Draw back in nice and level and lower down. Let's keep that pattern going. So inhale, prepare, exhale, lift, right arm and left leg. Float them out on the diagonal. Draw them back in level. And down. And again on the left. That's it. Float them out on the diagonal. Back to parallel and lower down. One more on each side. So inhale, prepare, exhale, lift. Float them out. Keeping those abdominals engaged. Get this lovely lengthening through the abdominals when you do this one. Inhale, prepare, exhale, lift. Out to the side. Back to parallel and back down. Lovely, very nice one, that one. We're going to stay here for another exercise as well. Okay, so taking the right leg behind you. You're going to tap the toe down and then just lift and squeeze the leg so that it's level with the rest of the body. So it's inhale to lower, exhale to squeeze and lift. Going for 10 of these. Think about the positioning of the body. We're trying to avoid rotation. Okay, so we're just trying to keep those hips level. As we lift and squeeze, you're reaching your toes away from you. You're still keeping your neck in line with the thoracic spine, so you're not allowing the head to drop. We've got 5 more. Squeeze and lower. So keep that nice waist belt pulled in. And 3 more. And keep those shoulders nicely stabilized. Last 2. Then lower again and lift and squeeze. Bring that knee back in. We've got to do the other leg. We haven't forgotten about this left leg. Inhale, that's it. Take that left leg away and you're going to exhale, lift and squeeze. And there's 1. Good. And 2. Good. Lovely. Lift and squeeze. 3. So we're still thinking about the pelvic floor. We've got a nice little lift up on the pelvic floor. We're keeping our abdominals engaged and trying to avoid any rotation. That's it. So 5 more. 5. And lower. Good. And 4. Lovely. Last 3. Squeeze. Stabilizing through those shoulders. Keeping that head nicely lifted. 1 more. Lift and squeeze. Lovely. Those legs definitely working hard today. So again, have a nice little sit back into a shell stretch. Take your arms down by your sides. Keep your abdominals engaged. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, stack your vertebrae back on top of each other. Lovely. Going to go onto your side now, and we're going to do some clams. So with clams, you want your hips stacked on top of each other. Knees are stacked. You can be lying down if you need to be, and you can support your head with your hands. Alternatively, you can come up onto your elbow, but just make sure your elbow is underneath your shoulder. And you keep your abdominals engaged. You work these obliques. We're not going to sink into the shoulder. We're lifting our torso up. So we're going to open those knees apart as you exhale. Inhale to close and then lift. Good. And 3. Lovely. So keep lifting up out of the shoulder. 4. 5. I've got my feet lifted. 6. Alternatively, you can have the feet down if you need to. Just thinking about the rest of the body also working at the same time. You'll also feel it in that glute that's on the mat, surprisingly. Okay, let's go for 3 more. 3. Good. 2. And 1. Now I'm going to get you to hold that knee open and 10 little pulses. Here's a little burner. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh, a nice little burner there. Okay. Going to straighten those legs out. Now we're going to do some inhale as we lift and point those toes away from us. Now you're going to flex the ankle and squeeze that leg down. If you're still up on your elbow, remember to lift up out of the shoulder. We're going for 10 of these leg lifts. So inhale to lift, pointing your toes away from you. Exhale, flex the ankle and squeeze that leg down. Inhale, lift and point. Exhale, flex and lower. As I said, alternatively, you can be lying on your side but supporting your head with your hand. Exhale. Inhale, lift and point. Exhale, flex down. Go for 3 more. 3, 2. Lovely, lift and squeeze down. 1, fantastic. We're going to go onto our back before we do the other leg. I haven't forgotten about the other leg, don't worry. So we're just going to do some bridging in between. So take your arms down by your sides and have your spine neutral. Now this is slightly different to the spine curl. I'm going to have my legs like train tracks, my knees and my feet are hip distance apart. So I'm going to inhale to prepare. As I exhale, imagine there's wires lifting your hips towards the ceiling. As you inhale, imagine those wires are just taking your hips down to the mat. So exhale, lift. Inhale, lower those hips down. Exhale, lift and squeeze the glutes. Inhale, use those muscles to help keep the pelvis neutral. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Let's go for 3 more. Lift and squeeze. Inhale, lower those hips down. And last 2. Squeezing the glutes, creating that nice length. Inhale, lower, and 1 more. Exhale, lift and squeeze. Lovely, nice little interlude before we do the other leg. So we're on to our clams on the other side. Remember, if you're on your elbow, elbow underneath shoulder. Torso, so obliques are engaged. And your feet are lifted or onto the mat. But we're going into our clams. Inhale to prepare and exhale. Open those legs apart, squeezing. That's it. And 3. Good. So keep that waist belt pulled in. Keep lifting up and out of that shoulder. That's it. We're going to keep that pattern going. Inhale and exhale. Good. Go for 4 more. And 3. Good. 2. And 1. Now hold it open, that little burner, for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! That's a little burner there. Okay, straightening those legs out. We're going to go for the lift and lower. Okay, so inhale to lift and point, and then exhale, squeeze that leg down. We're staying lifted out of the shoulder. And so you're reaching your toes away from you, and then you're flexing your ankle and squeezing down. Keeping your hips stacked the whole time and keeping your waist belt tightened in. Lovely. Inhale, lift and point. Exhale, flex and lower. Let's go for 4 more. Good. And 3. Stay lifted. 2. And lovely. Flex that ankle. Squeeze it down. You're working your own body's resistance there. That's lovely. Okay. Let's just go back onto our backs and we'll finish with another quick set of that hip bridging. So legs are like train tracks, spine is neutral, and your spine is going to stay neutral. Inhale to prepare, exhale, lift those hips up. Imagine those wires taking your hips to the ceiling. Inhale, and then imagine weights taking the backs of the hips down. So we're not curling through the spine this time. Exhale, lift. And we'll do an inhale, lower. Inhale, lower. Good. And exhale, lift and squeeze. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift and squeeze. Squeeze in the glutes, creating a nice straight line from your shoulders through to your knees. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift and squeeze. Good. Lower. We'll go for 3 more. Squeeze the glutes. Lower and keep it going. There we go. 1 more. Inhale to lower. Exhale, squeeze up to that nice bridge position. Let's lower down. Now, I think you deserve a nice glute stretch after that one. So let's take the left foot and place it onto the right knee and thread your hands around your thigh. For your right thigh, you're going to just pull gently in towards you to help release off those glutes and release your spine. Lovely. Okay, and then 1 more on the other side. Right foot onto left knee and pull in your left thigh towards you, stretching through those glutes. I hope you've enjoyed this session today. You've really worked those glutes. I look forward to seeing you in your next Pilates class.